All right, what's up, family? Welcome to the Tariq Elite Ustream Radio Show. We are live right here in Los Angeles, broadcasting live. And we're going to chop up some good game on tonight's show. The chat room is getting packed. The Ustream room is getting full. Shout out to everybody that's in the house tonight. Now, I had to play some of that old school world-class wrecking crew featuring Dr. Dre and Lonzo Williams, who will be calling in. Well, I'll be calling him shortly. We're going to be calling Lonzo, who was depicted in the N.W.A. movie Straight Outta Compton. Love the movie, man. That movie, man, I'm so proud of everybody involved, man. I saw the movie twice. I saw it Friday, had to go see it again Saturday. I want to see it a third time. I liked it even better the second time. I want to see it one more time. My daughter wants to see it again. It's a great movie. Absolutely great movie, man. They put their heart into it. Very good movie, man. If you have not seen Straight Outta Compton, y'all need to go see that. What's up, Rod? Rod, are you still in Hawaii, brother? Yeah, but the movie was great. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about tonight. Again, I can't wait to chop it up with Lonzo. A lot of questions we're going to ask. And all that good stuff. Thank you. Let me thank everybody for speaking of movies, thank you for getting my pay-per-view film, my brand new lecture film, Code of Conduct, at TariqRadio.com. That's where you can get it. That's the bestseller right now, the Code of Conduct lecture film. My Atlanta stop on my Code of Conduct tour that I had this summer. A lot of folks love the game that's in that, so go to TariqRadio.com and get that. You said King Flex biopic. Who would play me? They'd probably get somebody. I don't want them to miscast a motherfucker playing me. They'll probably get Terrence Howard to play me. I love you, Peanut, man. I digress, man. But Straight Outta Compton was a great movie, man. A great movie, yeah. Lonzo was the club owner. He was the club owner. They made it seem like he was kind of hating on the group. Yeah, that beginning scene was tight, man. That beginning scene with Easy was very tight, man. So they draw you in. They draw you in easily, quickly. That movie, man, just has no lapses to it. I mean, the whole thing, and it's long. It's a couple of hours, man, and the movie, it's just great. Yes, they could have gotten somebody else to play Snoop, though. Now, a lot of people are saying they should have got Nipsey Hussle. And Nipsey would have been a good fit. He looks more like Snoop. You know, he has more of that swag. But Nipsey didn't. They offered Nipsey the part, by the way. They offered Nipsey Hussle the part of Snoop, but Nipsey didn't have his album out yet. He said, look, you know what? If I do this role before I put my album out, I'm going to be looking like a Snoop imitator. You know, I'm going to look like I'm just rapping because I was in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't want to look corny with it. And that made sense. Also, Nipsey Hussle, he's known. And they wanted a bunch of unknown people, which was a good thing. They wanted a bunch of unknowns so that when somebody popped on screen, you didn't say, oh, that's Nipsey Hussle. They wanted to keep your mindset in the movie. Now, no spoil. I'm not giving out too many spoilers. Excuse me for drinking my ginger ale, family. My stomach has been a little toe up today. My stomach has been in knots for some reason. But, yeah, the dude who played Snoop, you know, that kind of took you out of the movie a little bit because the dude just didn't look like Snoop at all. So you were like, okay. Yeah, I'll be taking calls. I'll take a few calls. I'll be taking a few calls. Yeah, but the casting was good. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, you guys, I shouldn't even have to give spoilers because you guys should have seen it already. Golden, do I think the police infected Easy with AIDS? Okay, what makes you think that? The police did it. Okay. All right. Sound like you're just kind of trolling just to be saying some stupid shit. Yeah, Compton Menace, he had a good scene in there. He was real good. Compton Menace, he did real good, man. Yeah, I saw Easy's daughter. She liked the movie. I saw some of her tweets, and she was kind of giving her input on it. And there was a lot of scenes that were left, a lot of stuff within the storyline that was left out. A lot of people were saying, how come they didn't mention Miss LA? And the movie, they can only cover so much, man. You got to put a lot of stuff in a 2-hour time frame. Just like people get on us, how come you didn't say this about the Moore Science Temple and Hidden Colors? God damn. We only have so much information to squeeze in a 2-hour time frame. Oh, was that dude did look familiar. That was Shawnee O'Neal's boyfriend, right? I knew that dude looked familiar. So we're going to get a lot of answers about the real deal about N.W.A. tonight when Brother Lonzo calls in. Now, again, Lonzo was the genesis of a lot of this stuff, man. A lot of people, they dismiss the contributions of Lonzo Williams, man. Lonzo was the catalyst to a lot of stuff, man. We're going to really chop it up with him tonight. Yeah, a lot of folks are like, people are shocked that Suge kind of got down like that. But, we've been hearing shit like that for years about what happened up at Death Row. And again, a lot of stuff had to be embellished. And like the stuff that happened at Death Row, that wasn't embellished. I think they downplayed a lot of the shit that went on at Death Row because a lot of people wouldn't really believe it. But there were a lot of little things that you could point out that were chronologically out of order, but they needed to do stuff to make the storyline go smooth. They needed to make the storyline go smooth. Again, they were like, you can kind of be a stickler for little specific inconsistencies. Like, for example, I know when they were at Skateland, they were performing at Skateland. I saw a lot of people had on blue shirts and all that. I'm like, that damn show definitely wouldn't have happened at Skateland, all them blue shirts. I said, okay, but people from LA can kind of look at stuff and say, hey, ooh, that was, I don't think it happened that way, but that don't make them, we understand. We understand. You got to move things along for consistency. Also, there was a scene where they had Death Row Records. When Dre left Ruthless and went to Death Row, they went to the one that was on Wilshire. They didn't have that office until the late 90s. Because when Dre left Death Row, they were on Cahuenga. So little bullshit like that you can be a dick about. You dig? But it was still well put together. The movie, if you're somebody from the Midwest, you're looking at it, you're like, hey, man, this shit is accurate. You say after Easy went to the White House, he mysteriously got sick and died in a month. Okay. Well, so who you think? Bill Clinton gave him AIDS? No, Quick wasn't in it. They didn't have no references to Quick in it. And that's another thing. When in the Tupac scene, there was one scene with, I'm not trying to give away too many spoilers for those who haven't seen it. Tupac was doing Hail Mary, but then it was real weird. And then Dre introduced the track for California Love, but California Love, they recorded that before Hail Mary, you know what I'm saying? So, little chronological shit like that you can be a dick about. Some people will try to point that out, but again, they needed to do stuff to move the story along, and they wanted to have a Tupac. Yeah, that dude looked just like Tupac. But some movies do that. Sometimes they'll have songs in there. Like, for example, I remember when I saw Carlito's Way. Carlito's Way is one of my favorite movies. Carlito's Way is one of my favorite movies with Al Pacino. And the movie is supposed to take place in 1975. Carlito's Way is supposed to take place in 1975, but they're in a disco club, and they were playing a song in the background called Gotta Be Real that didn't come out to 1978. You dig? Yeah. So yeah, a little chronological stuff like that, you can kind of overlook. Yeah, the Hail Mary song was on the Machiavelli album, and remember, California Love, he recorded that right when he got out of jail. Oh, Ren, yeah, Ren did write a lot of stuff too. Ren did write a lot of stuff too, and a lot of people, Ren's story wasn't. They didn't go too much in depth into Ren's story, and it's understandable because again, Ren was kind of a low key dude. Ren was kind of a low key guy. Hold on. Ren was kind of a low key dude. So, outside of N.W.A, he didn't really do. He didn't take it to the next level that Easy took it to with Bone Thugs and all his other groups. He didn't take it to the next level as Cube. Cube got into the acting game and he had more platinum albums. Dre became a phenomenal, just a brand within himself. So Ren didn't go to that other level. So again, that's why they didn't put as much emphasis on the story of Ren. But Ren, we got to give Ren a lot of credit though, because Ren and Easy were really the only real gangbangers in N.W.A. Ren and Easy were the only two gangbangers that were in N.W.A. They were from Kelly Park Crips, from Compton. And if y'all remember, where are my LA people? And Ren is a very underrated MC. I think they could have got a better dude to portray him. But in the 80s, I lived in Compton for a quick minute. I lived on El Segundo and Willowbrook. I lived there for a quick minute. In 87, then again in 88, I lived there. So I was bouncing around, but I stayed there primarily. But yeah, Ren was very underrated. Ren was a very underrated rapper, man. But the movie was good. Again, going into the Ren story, they didn't need to do that. They did the right thing. They showed Ren just enough. You understand? So they didn't have to go into his story too much because really, the story about Easy, Dre, and Cube, that was, that took up most of the movie. That was the meat of the story. Yeah, they did reference Bone Thugs a couple of times. That No Vaseline scene was a beast. Now, that dude who played Easy, man, was phenomenal. The dude who played Easy was absolutely phenomenal, man. That dude was a beast. That guy, he's from New Orleans. I can't think of his name, but that dude did a phenomenal job. But the dude who played Dre, that nigga he needs an Oscar nomination, dude. I'm dead ass serious. The dude who played Dre, this dude, he looked like Dre naturally. They got somebody who kind of looked like Dre, but the dude sounded just like Dre. That dude killed that shit, man. And I heard his regular talking voice, so he was making himself sound like Dre. Because I was like, did they find a nigga who just sounded like Dre naturally? But I've heard the dude do interviews, and he switched it up. But the dude sounded just like fucking Dre, man. The dude is a great actor, man. If you close your eyes, you thought you were hearing Dre talk. My daughter was like, did they overdub their voices? That's how much dude sounded like Dre. It sounds like Dre overdubbed the voice, man. The dude sounded just like fucking Dre. The voice inflections. The dude was phenomenal, man. Yeah, he went to Juilliard, man. That dude went to Juilliard. That dude, and shout out to F. Gary Gray for giving those new cats a forum, man. He gave a whole bunch of new people an opportunity to really get out there now. They're going to get a whole bunch of other roles. That movie launched the careers of a lot of very talented people, man. Yeah, Cube's son did a great job for his first time. O'Shea Jr., man, that brother did an excellent job. That brother did an excellent job. My wife liked it. My wife loved the movie. But you got to understand, Ren and Easy. Well, I'll say Ren mostly, but really Easy. But both of them, they were the realest. Ren was the realest cat in the group. I'll put it that way. I'll say Ren was the realest dude in the game. Y'all remember, if you're from LA, y'all remember this album cover, the N.W.A. and the Posse album. This is from like '87. Y'all remember this cover right here? Hold on. Man, that's the N.W.A. album cover. Now, if you look on that cover, there's 12 dudes on there. Now, there's three of them, with four. Four of the dudes on there are in t-shirt and khakis or Levi's. And all of them are from around the Kelly Park Crip area. That was DJ Train, who died. Rest in peace to DJ Train. He died in a house fire in the 80s. You had Easy, you had Ren in the t-shirts and Levi's, and you had one of their partners named MC Chip, who's not in the music industry. So they were the only ones who were looking like real gangbangers. And they were the ones who were from Kelly Park Crips in Compton. The other people, now they're on the left. All the guys with the t-shirts and the jeans are on the left. Let's look at this picture again. Now on the right-hand side, you had Dre, you had Ice Cube, and they got on like Fila. They kind of fresh. They got on fresh shit. They got a dude named Candyman on there. Now, Candyman was a dancer for Tone Loc, and then Candyman had his own single called Knockin' Boots. You had the Arabian Prince. That's Sir Jinx with the clock on that picture. Now, Sir Jinx, they depicted him in the movie, too. Now, Sir Jinx is very underrated, too. And that's the homie, too. I know Sir Jinx. Cool-ass nigga. Jinx is very underrated, too, because Jinx produced a lot of that early Ice Cube stuff. Yeah. DJ Train was the one who DJ'd for JJ Fad. Exactly. They didn't put, I wouldn't say studio gangsters, but again, they were merging. They were just now finding their image at that time. Because again, oh yeah, I'm old. Somebody said I'm showing my age. I'm old. Shit. Old as gold though, goddammit. But on that cover they got, it's a Mexican dude on there too. He looks white. Look at the dude on the bottom. He looks like a white dude, but he's a Mexican dude. Look at his name is Crazy D. Hold on. Alright? Now Crazy D, remember, when N.W.A. first came out, they had Boys in the Hood. That was easy first thing. And then they had a song called Panic Zone, which was kind of a dance song, like a techno song, because they had to kind of cater to that techno crowd. And he, the Mexican dude, wrote part of that song. Because again, a lot of the dances and the music was kind of catering to that the Mexican crowd, the Hispanic crowd. So they kind of had to blend that shit in. And then they had Arabian Prince in there. He was doing a lot of techno. The other dude with the Jerry curl, that's KD. What did he do? He did some stuff with Ice Cube too. He cut his Jerry curl off and did some other shit with Ice Cube. But as you saw on that early album, they were just now getting into their image. Now, by the time this record hit, all of them start dressing like the dudes on the left. You understand? Yeah, they had the song Fat Girl and all that. Oh, yeah, I'm a rap historian, especially. I've been wanting to do, I told y'all this before, I've been wanting to do a documentary on the history of West Coast hip-hop, man. I really, really want to do that. I'm going to probably do that after I finish Hidden Colors 4. I want to do a documentary on a lot of the West Coast, the origin of West Coast hip hop, man. That's right, Ass Cast of Gas. But yeah, KD, that was a good album, and that's KD on that album cover. He just has a full curl right there, but that's KD on there. But again, when that N.W.A album hit, what not the album, it was really a single / EP. When that hit, and they were really testing out Boys in the Hood because they had the gangster shit with the techno pop style music too on the flip side. When they saw that everybody was gravitating towards the gangster shit, because they didn't want to waste pressing a record. You press a record and, you know, you kind of want to, you don't want to waste that pressing. Okay, Last Nomad, I don't know what you're saying, brother. I don't want to have to ban you for trolling. You sound like you're saying something stupid. I don't know what you're saying, but it sounded kind of like some dumb shit. But again, I would love to do that. Talk about the origins of talk about the early hip hop rap scene, man. Out here in Los Angeles, on the West Coast. We're heavy in here now. We got a lot of folks in the room now. Mac Avenue Rants. All right, who we got? We got a lot of folks calling. And again, I know that, dude. You say West Coast hip hop is more than LA. That's true. But I think the Bay Area, that would have to be a separate story within itself. That would have to be a separate story within itself. Is Last Nomad? He is trolling hard. Okay, let me ban him real quick. All right, Last Nomad. I went on and got you up out of here. Let me see who's calling here. What's up? Who's calling?
Yeah, it's Rodney from New York.
Rodney from New York. How are you, sir?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good, man. You just woke up from taking a nap?
No. I'm just chilling, listening to the show.
What's on your mind, Rodney?
Yeah, I had a question. I just wanted to know, how do you get that respect from people even after you've been able to, you've done what you were supposed to do, and they're still not respecting you?
You got to put that in a context, because it can go either way. I don't know what context you're putting it in, sir. So you got to be a little more specific about the context in which you are putting your statement in. I don't get what you're saying.
Like in the sense that people have to take you seriously, you know?
Well, either they take you seriously or they don't. If people choose to disrespect you, you don't deal with them. It's just that simple. If people are disrespecting you, even though you've established that you are supposed to be respected, and the problem is, if you are being disrespected, that means that you are not self-sufficient enough. You understand that? Because only self-sufficient people can really demand respect. People who are independent of those who they need respect from. Think about that. You got to be independent of those you need respect from in order to get respect from them. I'm going to say that one more time so y'all can catch that. You have to be independent of those who you expect to get respect from. Meaning that you cannot be dependent on somebody and then try to get respect from them. You understand? You got to be the kind of person You got to be the kind of person who can thrive and survive without their respect or not. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, man. And did you have anything lined up for that Million Man March weekend? Like any lectures or anything like that?
No. I'm gonna go out there and just chop it up and just be out there with the family. You know, I don't plan on doing any lectures myself. I'm just gonna go out there and just vibe with the Melanoid brothers and sisters, man. All right, but thank you for the call, Rodney.
All right, thanks, man.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Respect is something that you gotta. If somebody's not respecting you, and you're talking about you doing everything you're supposed to do to get respect, that means you're dependent on somebody. And you're still wondering how come they're not respecting you, that means you're dependent on them. Because you got to be able to charge a motherfucker to the game if they don't respect you. See, that's how power works, man. You got to be able to punish or reward those who are not doing your bidding. And the first bidding is respect. If somebody's not giving you respect, you got to be able to punish or reward, and you can punish by your absence. You can punish by your absence because, look, if you're the person who's independent and you're bringing shit to the table, you can say, look, I'm going to take me and my tangibles and my assets off the table, and I'm going to take them elsewhere. You dig? So either you respect or not. If you choose not to respect, well, then we have no more dealings. If people are choosing to respect you, then there's a reason why you're sticking around. Either you like being disrespected or you're dependent on them. I choose to bounce. I bounce fast. Dude, I've been to meetings before. I've been to meetings with multinational production companies, major media companies, and if they done shit, there was one network. It was a really good production company that does a lot of major television shows, and they were interested in doing a show with me. And I remember they kept me waiting in the lobby for like 45 minutes. And I thought to myself, first of all, I'm like, I can be out here making paper. I can be doing better things than sitting in this fucking lobby waiting on this producer to come out and holler at me. I'm not a starving artist. You know, a lot of people, man, you know, when you go into these production offices, they get people who are they're just ready to go in there and suck the first dick they can find. I'm like, I got business. I'm missing out on money out here in these streets. I got things I need to be doing. So I got the fuck up and left. After like 45 minutes, I left, and they called me about 15, 20 minutes later, like, hey, where'd you go? I'm like, dude, I bounced. Because if y'all were really, really serious about doing some shit, y'all would come out and just start doing business. I don't think if y'all were really, really serious about doing something, y'all wouldn't have me sitting in your lobby for 45 minutes. You dig? Yeah, so I'm not, you know, I thought that was very disrespectful. And the guy was trying to explain how hey man, you know, I've been to meetings, Tariq, and I've sat and waited for an hour, well, but I got better things to do, man. I got better goddamn things to do. That's why you got to go into situations strong so people ain't pulling their dick out on you. That's what I call pulling your dick out. You think people think if they see that you're desperate, they're going to pull their dick out on you. And they'll fill you out. They try to fill you out to see where your head's at. Because I would go to other meetings and they would always say some shit about, you know, with black folks, they try to throw nigger trinkets at you. Hey, Tariq, we get this show going, man. You can get the brand new Lexus. I said, dude, I got the new Lexus downstairs in your parking lot. I came here in the new Lexus, sir. Let's talk about some residuals. Talk about some white folk shit. Let's talk about the shit y'all talk about money among each other. Let's talk about residuals and points on the back end. Let's talk about some shit like that. Come in talking some nigger trinkets to me? Talking about a goddamn car. Give a fuck about no car. They be looking at me like, dude, that's why I'm so proud of Ice Cube. That's why I'm so Ice Cube. Y'all look at the N.W.A movie. They did the same thing with Cube in the group. Jerry Heller came in with some nigger pennies, as my man Star from Star and Buck Wild says, nigger pennies. You know, there was a scene, and this is common knowledge if you know the history of N.W.A. They had $75,000 checks for everybody, and Cube was like, hey, that's my money anyway. I don't, you know, they gave you the contract. You know, that's an old trick that the white supremacists do with niggas. They give you here's the contract, and a check is right here. Here's the contract and a check. Now, if you sign the contract, you get the check. That's an old trick. You know, we'll give you the money we owe you if you sign this check. You see that? That's an old trick they play. And they get a bunch of hungry niggas, and then they start pumping that car shit in your mind. Yeah, man. First, they'll start throwing the new car shit. Hey, you get the car, you get the Benz, you get the Bentley. Oh, yeah, I'm going to give you this check, but you need to sign this contract before I give you this check. And Cube was the only one that said, wait a minute. That's my money anyway. Y'all been supposed to give me that shit. Out of all these songs and shit I wrote, All this shit is because of my song. Give me that money. No, you're going to have to sign this check. Cube was like, eat a dick. He was the smartest one. The smartest one at the time. He was the smartest one. And that's the thing. And I'm gonna talk to my man Lonzo about Jerry Heller tonight too. But you can see, and I've heard Jerry Heller do interviews, and that's another thing, folks. When you do business with suspected white supremacists suspects, black folks, please listen to me, black folks. Let me give black people some advice. Stop when they come to you talking about you're like a son to me. When they come at you on that father figure shit, the white supremacists are very good at that with black folks. They are so good at doing that shit with us, and we fall for it every time. Y'all, please stop going for that bullshit. Please stop going for that white daddy shit. They do that with a whole bunch of athletes. They love doing that with athletes because they know that a lot of niggas come from single mother homes, so they go in there playing that white daddy role. Hey, you're like a son. I'm going to take care of you like a son. And they fuck you blind. They fuck you blind, man. Y'all, please stop going for that. And that's what happened with those with N.W.A, especially with Easy. That's what happened with him. Even to this day, Jerry Heller's running around. Easy was like a son. Man, the family, they accused Jerry Heller of fucking Easy out of paper. And Jerry Heller, he loves going around, and I might have to interview Jerry Heller, to hear his side. But Jerry goes around like, hey man, the deal was the deal. If I was so bad and if I was ripping everybody off, how come they never sued me? He likes to kind of play that card. And the thing is, the reason why... Hold on 1 second. My wife is texting me, asking me. Hold on. Yes, but give him more. All right. What did I say? My wife texted me some shit. So he likes going around talking about, yeah, if I ripped him off and all that, if I was so scandalous and I was such a ripoff and all that, how come nobody ever sued me? Well, the thing is, they didn't sue the dude because they trusted him to make sure the deals were good. So they trusted him. So they signed whatever he put in front of them for the most part because they trusted that he would look out for them. That's like your accountant fucking you, and you hiring somebody to help you not get fucked by everybody else, but they're fucking you. But you can't really sue them because you signed everything. No, Cube was a little more disciplined. I would say disciplined. Cube was a little more disciplined. Cube was a little more disciplined. Let's see who's on the phone. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, what's going on? This is Red from Washington, D.C.
Hey, what's going on, Red? You called before, didn't you, Red?
Yes, indeed, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, I remember your voice, man. That deep, very white voice. What's going on, Red?
Yeah, nothing much, man. I have a slight dilemma I was wondering if you could help me out with.
Okay, what's going on? What's happening?
All right, so long story short, I was put into a situation where I had to leave my job, so I left.
Okay.
I was making money sideways for a minute, but I stacked up enough money to where I'm just ready to go back to putting it all into my own business and doing my own thing.
Okay.
So the person who I was getting money with, my partner, my guilty conscience is kind of starting to get at me, for some of the shit that we've been through.
Okay.
And so, I'm not really loose because, it's my partner. But, it's like she's starting to see the weakness in my game because I'm just not really on the same shit that I was on, when we were jugging, So I'm trying to go straight, trying to put everything, into my business and my own thing. But I'm I'm trying to hold that situation down. How do I manage that?
Now, you said your partner, is it a chick?
Yes, it's a shorty.
Okay. So y'all out there in the streets getting paper, and she wants to get back in the game, or what's the deal?
Well, here's the deal. I don't think she necessarily wants to get back in the game, but it's like I don't have a role for her. I don't have a position for her.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, we've been through what we've been through, and you know, we tight. You still my nigga, but it's like I can't. We can't get it the same way we've been getting it. We got to move on to other shit.
Right.
You know, and it's like it's like being that my mindset is that way, I'm not giving her the same game that she's used to getting from me. So she's giving me a different type of response. You see what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, how do I manage that situation? You know, what's the best way to do to deal with that? Do I got to charge it?
I think you're going to have to charge that. It's just like the TV show Power, man. On the TV show Power, which is one of the greatest shows on television right now, the character goes, he's trying to get out the game. His wife wants to stay in the game, but he's now messing with a side piece, and that's a whole big thing. And the wife is on that bullshit. The wife, you know, she's a down-ass chick as long as he's doing some ratchet street shit, which he don't want to do no more. You dig? And
right.
and people like that, man, you got to understand this, Reb. Chicks like that, it ain't about you, it's about the game. She's all about the game, and she wants somebody who she's comfortable with to get in the game with. Now, if she finds another dude who's just as thorough or even more thorough as you, she'll choose up that way too. So don't get all dewy-eyed on these chicks who are just hell-bent on being in certain parts of the game. Your mindset seems like it's different right now, man. If you ain't 100% down for the game, you don't need to fuck with it. And also, you've already weaned yourself out the game, which is supposed to be what you do anyway. The reason you get in the game is to stack up, learn what you need to learn, and get a cool exit strategy and flip that shit and parlay it into some real legit fly shit. That's the only reason of getting in the game. And if you get out with your head straight and enough to kind of sustain yourself and flip into something legit, that's cool in the game. But when people start pulling you back, and look, it's like a drug. The game is addictive. All types of hustles, man, that shit gets addictive. That's why you start hanging with certain folks or going to certain areas. You're like, hey, let me hit one more lick. And that one last lick gets you fucked up in the game. I say stay out that shit, dude. Charge them people to the game, man. You out, you got out, you clean, you good, you straight. You didn't get no time. Yep. You cool in the gang. Niggas didn't try to body you. None of that bullshit. Leave that shit alone. Charge the motherfuckers to the game, man. You feel me?
Indeed. By any chance you have time for one more question?
Go ahead, fam.
Do you think that there's a direct correlation in between, I guess, the hostility that's shown towards us from the dominant society and the hostility that's shown, you know, amongst one another? Because it's like, it seems, you know, every time the police do some wild shit in my neighborhood, it's like the young bloods in my neighborhood. I can't really say young bloods, I'm not that old, but it's like, you know, the young cats in my neighborhood, like they really start really getting animal with one another. So I was just trying to see if there was possibly any type of correlation.
Oh, yeah, because whenever we can't, a lot of us, we feel powerless challenging the dominant society, the white supremacists. So we get a lot of anger from the abuse, the systematic abuse. And then what happens is that we start abusing each other. We take that out on each other because we can't get it on them. You dig? So that's all that is, man. It's just people being in a prison, taking out their anxiety on each other within that prison system, man. It's a sad thing, but that's why we gotta get a code of conduct. But thanks for the call, Red.
All right, man.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are heavy in the house tonight. We are heavy in this bitch tonight. Look, what time is it? I'm about to call Lonzo now so we can start chopping up game. Hold on 1 second. Let me call him in a minute. Hold on 1 second. Let me get a call while I'm doing this. Hey, what's going on, man? Who's calling?
Hey, what's going on, Tariq? Hey, Boston.
Hey, what's going on with you?
Not much. Just had a question about a business question. I'm getting some checks coming in like next month.
Okay.
It's gonna be about like 5,000.
Oh, cool.
I wonder how can I invest that little money into business.
Okay, what kind of what kind of stuff you like to do?
Okay, so like
Okay, first you use about 100 of it on a new phone. All right, so now you're gonna have $4,909 So yeah, you need to get a phone first. Now, what kind of stuff you like to do?
I like to interact with people. I'm a people's person. I like to talk to business.
God damn, brother, you got to. I'm gonna have you call back, brother. This phone, spend 100 on that phone, brother. That I can't deal with that phone. That phone is a beast. Let me get Lonzo on this phone. Speaking of phones, let me get Lonzo on the phone, man, so we can chop it up and really talk about some things. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I'm about to call Lonzo now, and we're going to get it popping right here on the Tariq Elite Radio Show. 1 second. Excuse me. All right, y'all can stop calling. I'm calling Lonzo now, so we can get it right.
Hello.
What's up, Lonzo? It's Tariq.
What's up, Tariq?
How you doing, fam?
I'm doing fine. Doc, power just went up. I'm a happy camper.
Oh, yes, indeed. Now, everybody, I got my man Lonzo Williams on the phone, man. Lonzo Williams, man, is so instrumental to the history of West Coast hip-hop. This brother has been the genesis of a lot of groups that we now know and love. And whenever you look at the history of hip-hop, man, you gotta mention this brother, man. Lonzo, now, let's start from the beginning. Now, first, how'd you like that? Have you seen the Straight Outta Compton movie, brother?
Yes, I saw it again today. I had to go back today and study with my son.
Yes, indeed. Now, how'd you like Brother Corey's depiction of you?
You know what? I sent Corey a text yesterday and told him he did a great job of playing me in the part. He made me very funny, and I was very happy with his depiction.
Yeah, he played it very funny, and he captured you because you got a sense of humor. So he did a very good job.
Yeah, he did. I was very proud. I was lucky enough to sit with him prior to the shooting of that scene. One of my buddies just happened to call me. He was an extra on the set, and he says, "Hey man, come on down. There's a guy playing you." And my boy who called me is a comedian, so I'm thinking he's playing with me. So I'm like, all right, man, be playing with me. So I get out to the set, and sure enough, I meet Corey, and it was like looking in the mirror for a minute. Yeah. And I was like, wow, they're really gonna bless me with this right here. So we sat down, man, and we talked for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. He took the full essence of Lonzo. So, he did a good job. He got the crash course.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, let's start from the beginning. Now, where are you from originally, Lonzo?
Compton, California.
Yes, indeed. So you born and raised in Compton?
Born and raised in Compton.
What school you go to? Centinela?
I went to St. Albert's first, elementary.
All right.
Actually, I went to Mark Twain kindergarten. Mark Twain don't even exist no more. I went to St. Albert's, Vanguard, Centennial, but I got my diploma from Gardena High School. I got a little trouble at Centennial. Oh, yeah. And I left Centennial running one day, never went back. So I got my paper from Compton. To Gardena, I'm sorry. Gardena.
So what was it like growing up in Compton? What was it when you grew up in the 60s, 70s? When did you grow up out there?
I was born in the 50s. So I was a kid in the 60s, 70s. I was a teenager. 80s. I was a grown ass man, and it was totally different, man. It was like Compton was it was mostly black at that time. Still had white people, not a lot of Latinos, and it was a different kind of city. You felt comfortable going through Compton because it was a black city. Yeah. And they had a predominantly black police force. And I was telling somebody that I remember I had a girlfriend living on Long Beach Boulevard, but the bus used to stop at Alameda. So we had to walk from Alameda all the way to Long Beach Boulevard, and we cut through neighborhoods and, walk down the street. Never had a problem. And I dare do that today, man. Yeah. It's just amazing how things have changed.
Yes, indeed. Now, when did you get into the DJing business? When did you start DJing?
When I got to Gardena High School, man, they offered me a thing for the original occupational program, the ROP, and I checked off DJ. At the time,
I almost studied, but I wanted to be a DJ. I saw a DJ at Cavanella Park at a sock house. I thought the coolest thing in the world. I didn't want to be a DJ. I wanted to be a street DJ. And there wasn't a lot. There was none at the time. And I figured this would be an opportunity to at least learn how to work turntables and things like that. So I went to a broadcast school and ran to a couple of DJs that helped me get my speech pattern together and taught me how to play records.
Okay. And you opened a club called Eve After Dark, right?
Yes, sir. 1979, June 22nd, 1979.
Now, what made you do that? What made you just say, let me be an entrepreneur and just open up my own spot?
Well, you know what? I became a pretty good DJ. I'm still a cold-blooded cat right to this day. And my dad called me with a bunch of money after one of my Alpine parties. Me and Roger Clayton from Uncle Jam's Army, we used to be partners. Yeah. And we would do dances together, and occasionally I would do one on my own. And I primarily got tired of getting $150 a night doing all the work for, DJ. Most people realize DJing at that time was a 9-hour job because you had to be at the gig, stand for the gig, load your truck up, do the set. It took you, 5 hours to do the set. You had to drive your truck back home, unload it again, tear the stuff down, and unload it again. So you working 9 hours for $150. It sounded like you was making a little bit of change, but when you break it down, you ain't really making no money. So I got the taste of promoting with my car club, the Charisma in Vegas, over at Chester, Washington. Yeah. And that night we must have made about, me and my boy must have split up about $1,000 after everything was paid. I had like $500. That was more I made in a week, more than I made in a month at that time, working at my little job I had. So I'm like, I'm gonna try this promoting thing full time. And shortly after that, I started promoting. My dad called me with a bunch of money, and he thought I was selling dope. Yeah, he threatened to kill me. I told him, hey, man, I ain't selling no dope. Yeah. Come by and take me out of the Alpine Village. He did. And we had such a good night. But when I told him what kind of business I was doing, I was paying $1,000 a night for Alpine Village. And $1,000 a night wasn't a lot of money for a room that size, but it was to my dad. Because he is an old school cat. He didn't make $1,000 a month on his job. So he turned me on to his best friend, Jeffrey Harris, who owned Eve After Dark. And I was able to my dad co-signing for me. I was able to get a spot on the corner of Avalon and Segundo at 21 years old.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Now, in the movie, they showed scenes from Dudo's. There was a club called Dudo's, and they kind of made it seem like you were running that club too. Now, what was your relationship with Dudo's? Because we talked earlier. We know Dudo's was owned by an old brother, Dootsy Williams.
Right. Now, when I was at Eve After Dark, man, the same thing that folks are dealing with right now with the police and stuff like that, I was experiencing too from another level though. I never got beat up by the police, but they chased me out of Eve After Dark because a cop hit on me or asked me to send him over some sisters for some sexual favor. And I told him I can't do that. Yeah. He got pissed off and he made my life a living hell for about $4 or $5. And the old man who owned Jeffrey, who owned Eve After Dark, was like, hey, man, this guy's giving us too much problem. We can file complaints. And we filed a complaint on him. He got worse instead of better. Okay? Wow, yeah. He retaliated more. So, he told me to shut Eve down. And right in the middle of the peak season, which is like, for me, is like November. But I also had in the back of my mind, if I shut Eve down, what could be my backup plan? And Doodles was my backup plan. Because now Doodles is in Compton. My cousin, him and his boys was on the Compton Police Department. Yeah. They ran the SWAT beat, so I went to him, and he said he'll do security for us. By this time, nobody really wanted to go to Compton, right. But because I had the Compton PD as my security, they gave everybody a sense of security.
Now, what year was this? What year was this when you were doing Dudos?
86.
86. Okay.
Yeah. And man, but Greg Mack. About 2 weeks after I shut the Eve down, a month before I opened up Dudos, me and Greg met, and Greg saw what I was doing, and he helped me blow it up. We just started doing the traffic jams for K-Day, which was a form of advertising for Dudos, and Dudos went through the roof, man, real quick.
Yes, indeed. Now, when did you meet Dre? When and how did you meet Dre?
Well, most folks still know me and Dre grew up on the same street. Dre's uncle, his dad, his auntie, we all grew up on Carlton Avenue over in L.A.
Okay.
And my sister and Dre's dad was real cool.
Okay.
And when Dre was born, this is crazy. I tell people the story, it sounds crazy, but it's got true. When Dre was born, his dad came to my house, told my mom and my sister he had a kid. And I must have been about 8 or 9 years old, but I remember it distinctly because it was the first time I ever heard the name Andre.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
I'd never heard the name Andre. I'm used to cats named Elmer and Bob and Robert and Eric. Andre, what kind of name is that for a boy? And it wasn't until about 16 years later, he came to the club, him and Eric. He wanted to get in, and he put the knowledge on me that, hey, man, you know my people. Who's your people, man? You know, my people are the Youngs, Deborah and Floyd and Lloyd and Katie. Oh, okay, cool. But y'all can't come in because y'all didn't dress right.
Yeah.
So Dre went back, changed his clothes, came back the next week. He came back with the attire of the day, which was a skinny tie, some baggy pants, and the Morris Day look. Easy still walking around in damn white T-shirts and tennis shoes. So I let Dre up. He's like, why I can't come up? No, you can't come up. You got a bomb. So I pissed Easy off. He called me a bunch of Jerry Curl, Wayne, son of a gun. Of all the names he called me a bunch of Jerry Curl, so-and-so.
And he had a curl. Yeah.
Curl, he could like a son of a gun. College is soaking wet. But he called me a bunch of Jerry Curl, Soup Man, son of a gun. So anyway, I let Dre upstairs at the party, and next thing I know, he ended up on the turntables. And the rest is history, Doc.
Yes, indeed. Now, did you know Easy before Dre, or did you just meet them at the same time?
I met Dre and Easy kind of at the same time. Dre and Easy had a little production company, a little dance production company called High Power Productions.
Yeah.
Dre was his DJ. Easy was putting up money trying to do dances. Because back in the day, before cats started selling dope, the hustle of the day was promoting parties.
Yeah.
You know, it was Uncle Jam's Army, myself, Z-Car Production, LSD Production. If you can get people into a room, that was the ultimate way of making your money. And I had flipped the script. I was the only DJ with his own room. Everybody else was still hustling venues, but I got hold to my own room. So I was balling out of control at that time.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to be like Lonzo, you know, get a spot and try to rock it. But most people didn't have the same type of, what should I say, influence. I got my dad and his partner kicking me in the ass, watching over my shoulder the whole time to make sure that didn't happen. So I had to keep them at bay. So that kid made me a little more aware of what was happening as opposed to a lot of other folks.
So the scene that we saw at Dudo's where they're rapping in there, now how true was that? Were they in there trying to like freestyle and talk gangster rap, and you were like, hey man, y'all need to chill out with that? Now, how accurate was that?
Never happened.
Okay.
Never happened. To my knowledge, I actually never set foot in Dudo's.
Oh wow.
When I met IQ, he was 15 in like 87, 88. I signed him to his first record deal. He was 15 years old, and his mom wasn't feeling all that hanging out at nighttime stuff. So when I met him, he was doing Beastie Boy imitations on records.
With CIA.
In fact, if anybody go back and YouTube CIA, you'll hear when he brought the crew cut. He didn't bring me no gangster stuff. I had never heard Ice Cube do a gangster lyric in my life till he signed with Dre and them. When he turned 18, he left my house going to Arizona State.
Yeah.
I didn't see Ice Cube again until Monday last week. Okay, I never laid eyes on him again face to face until Monday a week ago tomorrow.
Wow.
And he was bringing me Beastie Boy invitations. I signed him to CBS. We did She's a Skag, which went to water. Yeah. We all got dropped. Came back to crew cut. They did an EP. We did an EP. On their EP, it was My Posse, Be Illin' or something else. I can't think of the 3 songs right now, but they were all Beastie Boy imitations. Yeah. Sold no records whatsoever. And he went to school, and like I said before, next time I saw him again was he was a grown ass man. It was last week.
Wow. When did
But I did go off on Dre at Dudo's, not behind Ice Cube. It was behind his cousin Jinx. Jinx did a song called My Penis at Dudo's. I went off on him behind that because I got a room full of kids and I got the police as my security. You put me in a bad position talking about your penis. for all these kids. So yeah, I did go off on him about that, but it wasn't, different scenario, different person, different reason.
Oh, there you go. Now, when did you start Crew Cut Records and start working with Macola?
I started Crew Cut Records like in '83. I was doing bootleg records for years, and that was a big thing because we were the first ones on the West Coast to actually do mixed records, mixed 12 inches. We ran across some out of New York with Unknown. I was my music director, and he brought something to the club, and we figured we could do the same thing. And then we did that for a couple of years, made a lot of money, and I got tired of looking over my shoulder. So, yeah.
Hello?
I'm here.
Uh-oh. Hello?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, we're breaking up. Go ahead. You were saying, go ahead.
Yeah. After I got tired of looking over my shoulder, so I needed to do records. I was making money. I decided to go legit with a song called Flight. I just been Flying Tail. And the other was doing it. They put it together real quick. It went aluminum, so it was cool.
Now, when you did Crew Cut, I know you. When did World Class Wrecking Crew put their first song out?
That was like '94 because we were Wrecking Crew up until then. And then, 84, I'm sorry, 84. I was 84. It was during the Olympics. When we were actually just a Wrecking Crew. And then we got a letter from my lawyer. And we were in violation of trade agreement with somebody else. And then, what was it? It was, so it was during the Olympic time. And I kept hearing the phrase, world-class swimmer, world-class runner, world-class athlete. So I asked the phrase world class, and that's expected him to be okay. He said, yeah, and that's how we did it. I was definitely 84. That's when we took it.
So the name World Class Wrecking Crew, y'all started using that name in '84. Now, What year did Turn Out the Lights come out? Because that was a huge hit for the Wrecking Crew.
Turn Out the Lights, I think it was like 87, dropped in 88.
So y'all recorded
87 was last year's contract. A contract with Dre them was expiring in November of '87, and then we dropped a license in '88. But I had no clue because it was also notorious by then.
Oh. Now, when y'all did Turn Out the Lights, now didn't y'all have another female named Mona Lisa doing the vocals with you guys? What happened with her, and how did y'all end up getting with Miss L.A.?
Mona Lisa was she sang on our song first. And it was a big record for us. It was the one record of all the records we did on that album. That was the one that got the most radio play and got the best response in our concert. So when got ready to we left CBS and come back.
Hold on. The phone. Hold on. Our connection. Hold on, brother. The connection is real bad. Are you in one spot with you? Because the connection is going in and out. Hello? I don't know if that's on my end or your end. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now, brother?
I was up the sound. Is it good?
Yeah. Still kind of. Are you moving around because the phone is going in and out?
Oh, that's a better signal.
Hold on, let me see something because I want to get a good because I don't want to miss nothing. Hold on 1 second. Let me see something. All right, can you hear me now, brother? Okay, let me see this. Okay, we got law. Let me call him back. We had a little disconnection. Let me call him back. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about here. We're going to get him.
All right, we got more bars now.
There you go. There we go.
Okay. All right.
So you were saying about the y'all hooked up with Miss L.A. how?
Miss L.A., man, Miss L.A. came to me to a friend of mine. I forgot the brother's name. I just come off a tour. I just got home to a Sunday night, and I had a date. And he begged me, hey, man, I got this girl, you to hear. But back at that time, everybody and his mama had somebody they want me to hear sing, rap, or dance, or rivet, or some shit, whatever it was. And so I let him come up to the house, and she never said nothing. Went to the studio. I said, sing. And she wouldn't sing. And then she turned her back and started singing.
Yeah.
And her voice was so dynamic. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I walked in front of her and she kept singing. And then I was okay. She got good pipes. And I said, "Oh, you been singing, baby?" And she said, "I've been singing for." I said, "Oh my God,
Yeah, wow.
something got to be a joke."
Wow.
And that was about a year or two before I cut turn off the lights. So when I got ready to turn off the lights, Mona Lisa wasn't available. She was in the studio in Connecticut with Kashif, and I was kind of under the gun to get something happen. And I decided to give Miss Chalet a call. First time in the studio, never been in the studio before. And oddly enough, instead of like Mona always drink hot tea or hot coffee. She wanted 2 milkshakes from Jack in the Box, 2 strawberry shakes from Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Just suppose she started to sing.
Wow.
So we stopped by Jack in the Box, bought her 2 shakes, and she came to the studio and sang, but she couldn't sing my signature note that I think I had on Lovers. And Dre, Yella, and everybody in the studio did not want her to do this. Okay? They fuck her, I don't know, I can't cuss, I ain't gonna cuss. I'm using my church vocabulary.
Oh, it's cool.
Forget her, man. Been wait for Mona. No, we can't wait for Mona. I got to get this thing out now, blah, blah, blah. Make a long story short, I put the executive rank and the engineer Donovan, who they didn't mention in the movie as well, punched her in enough time to make it happen, and that's how I jumped off.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Now, what was a lot of people at that time, everybody was going to Macola Records to get their records pressed.
Right.
And how did y'all make money with those records? Because y'all were pressing up singles. They charged like $1,000 for 500 records, right?
Nope.
What was their deal?
Man, I never gave Macola any money. Okay, and my first was a record. I had worked for a record distributor prior to even being prior to ever making a record. That was one of the things I did as a youngster. Before I became a regular DJ, I worked for a record distributor called Record Shack. So I had this list of all the stores in LA.
Okay.
So when I made my bootleg records, I used that list to go out and sell records. So by this time, my face is getting very familiar in the record, in the record distribution circle here in LA, all the VIPs and the Magic Discs and whatever the case may be. And so I was at Bill Smith first. And Bill was a cash and carry situation. You had to buy a minimum of 300 records with Bill.
Okay.
So, but it was cash and carry. Okay. And it was cool, but my guys always needing money, I never could stack up enough money, or I couldn't sell enough records at one time to pay bills, stay at the studio, give my guys some money, and I needed a line of credit. So I heard about Macola. When I went to Macola gave me a one sheet contract, 2 paragraphs. He was at 15%. He'd already heard about us, and so we went to him and started pressing records. Well, what nobody knew was that Macola was also trying to be a distributor.
Yeah.
So as you would sell records out the front door, Macola was selling them out of the back door.
Exactly. I used to hear that about them all the time.
So now we try, and people don't realize that once you put music on a record, the vinyl only cost us back then maybe 75 cents, everything. Okay, we selling them for $2, $2.25. Okay, and if you bought a bunch of them, you might get them for $2. So we made $1.25 per record. And at that time, rap records were so rare. I was selling maybe 4,000 or 5,000 a week.
Yeah.
So we making a nice piece of change.
Yeah.
And but still, Macola was selling records. He might have been selling 10,000 a week out the back door, not telling nobody.
Yeah.
So because I had my own distribution network here in the streets, in the swap meets, or whatever the case may be, I was able to survive. But then we started getting phone calls from places outside of the city, outside of LA, Texas, Louisiana, and that's when we found out we were being bootlegged. Yeah. Well, I can't call it bootleg. Because
they were just backdooring the records. Egyptian Lover said that happened to them with Macola.
Same thing. He said, so he has his free manufacturing. The illusion of free manufacturing was the draw to get everybody in there. Once he got your product in there, he just sell it. He didn't care if you made money in LA or not. He had your product going all over the world. In fact, we still find out today, man, deals he cut in England and Germany that we're missing hundreds of thousands of dollars on because he licensed that stuff overseas as if it was his. So right now we got everybody still pissed off.
Yeah. You know what? That N.W.A. and the Posse EP that they put out that went platinum. I think that thing went double platinum. That was like an unauthorized. He basically got a bunch of y'all old shit, like the CIA stuff and some of the old easy, just mixed everybody's stuff together and put out an EP on his own. Is that what happened?
He did a couple of different mixes. The N.W.A. and the Posse, that was actually Eazy-E.
Okay.
Before N.W.A. actually blew up, after he did Dope Man and a couple other Boys in the Hood, I think it was. He wanted to put together an album because once you make an album, now you sell a record wholesale for $6-7 a piece now, as opposed to $2.
Right.
So he took that to McCullough first. That started blowing up to McCullough, and then Jerry. By that time, I introduced him to Jerry, and Jerry snatched it from McCullough, took it to Brian Turner over at Priorities, and that's where they had all their success and money from.
Yes, indeed. Now let's go back to that because that was something that I thought they were going to mention in the movie. A lot of folks don't know that you were the one who introduced Eazy-E to Jerry Heller.
Yeah, man. I understand. I understand the creative license necessary to make a movie, but sometimes they just mess up history just to make a movie.
Right.
Yeah. Jerry Heller was in the wings with Wrecking Crew prior to us signing our deal with CBS.
Now, what was he to you? What was he to the Wrecking Crew?
He started off as being nothing. We already had a manager before I got to Jerry Heller.
Okay.
But when we were offered a record deal at CBS, our current manager at the time didn't want us to go to CBS because he felt it was going to be a problem because he didn't like dealing with majors because it hampers your growth.
Right.
So Dre and them pressuring me to go to CBS. We got $100,000 waiting for us. I got money, but they don't have no money. So I got pressured into going to CBS. Went to CBS, but again, Jerry being a manager, if I get a manager going to CBS, he gonna get 20%, 20,000 off the top. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why am I gonna give you 20,000 for a deal I already got?
Yeah.
So I could deal myself with my lawyer. Okay.
Yeah.
Me and my lawyer Ken Clavens cut my deal to CBS. It cost me $7,500. Okay.
Mm.
So now, once we signed to CBS, I signed to Jerry. Okay. Now Jerry, by me doing that, he knows I'm not stupid. Okay. You can't run. I do math too well. Simple things, 20% to 20,000, blah 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 blah. You're not gonna run the same. You ain't gonna run game past me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been a businessman for 5 years already. I am 27, but I had a club since I was 22.
Yeah.
So I understand basic business. So I signed to Jerry, and they also signed the Dream Team shortly after that. So we were kind of competing at Wrecking Crew versus the Dream Team.
Yeah.
And Jerry was our manager. Maury Alexander represented the Dream Team, but they had a company called Heller Alexander Management or something like that. Make a long story short, shortly after that, once we got our first check, we got our check from CBS, we were short about $4,000, maybe $4,800.
Okay.
And I couldn't figure out where the money came from. By that time, Jerry had just signed us as a manager, and I asked Jerry to look out to find out why we were short $4,800. Well, he found out the money was at the union, Astra. When he found out the money was at the union, we had to go down to the union and sign off task-heartedly and get the $4,800. Now, everybody who was broke, Dre, Yeller, and Shakespeare, got a fresh new lease on life with just $1,200.
Okay.
Dre started pumping Jerry Heller up to Eazy-E like he was a coming of Christ.
Mm.
Oh, man, Jerry Heller this, Jerry Heller that, Jerry Heller this. So he pumped Jerry Heller up so much to Eazy started bugging me to meet Jerry Heller.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Dre was going to jail on a regular basis getting tickets in his RX-7. Went to jail 2 times. He went to jail 1 time too many.
Is that the car? Is that the car you sold him?
Yes, that's the car I sold him because I upgraded to a Beamer. And Dre begged me from RX-7, so I had to go in and lie Tell him I was his uncle, co-sign for the car, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And we not gigging. We ain't selling no records on the street because CBS got our contract. We ain't gigging right now because CBS keep putting our album on hold.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, his car note due. My house note got to be paid. It's money tight. And now he gonna put an extra load on me by getting tickets.
Yeah.
Back then, a warrant was $166, but it might as well have been $25,000.
Yeah.
And so I got him out a couple of times, and I told him a third time, like my dad told me, if after the second time I get you out of jail, you go back again, you're on your own, because obviously you must be enjoying going to jail. So I wouldn't get him out. He got pissed at me. And that's when he called Eric. Eric got him out of jail. They cut a deal to do, Dre didn't have no money, so they cut a deal for Dre to do tracks for Eric's new company in my studio.
And that's what did they record? Did they record Boys in the Hood in your studio?
They recorded the demos for Boys in the Hood in my studio. Yes.
Cool.
So now when Dre's doing the track, they racking up a studio bill about $500. I wanted my money from Easy. He couldn't need my $500.
Yeah.
And Easy was notorious for not paying people.
Oh wow.
Okay, he had all this dope money in his sock. He never carried it in his pockets. So if he hit his pocket, he always should look broke. But he carried his money in his sock. If he hit your sock, give me my money. He wouldn't give it to me. So then he wanted me to hook him up with charity. I ain't doing nothing till I get my money. So now he offers me a bonus to hook him up with Jerry and to expedite the meeting. So that's why Jerry said he paid me $750. Well, no, he owed me $500 already.
Oh,
okay.
So that's
he gave me extra $250 because after I got paid, I wasn't gonna do it then because you took so long. Okay, me and Eric always had the little headbutt situation. He liked to play them street games. I'm like, give me my money, or kick out of my club. You just do like I tell you to do. And the character in the movie was Lonzo, always been Lonzo. Do like I asked you to do, we ain't got no problem.
Yeah.
But if you don't do like I asked you to do, we got a problem.
Yeah.
Whether you Easy, Eric, or whatever the case may be. So he kept playing with the money, and I wouldn't hook him up with Jerry. So he offered me, a bonus to hook him up with Jerry, and I did.
Yeah, because I've always heard that story about the $750, but yeah, it's good to hear the back end of the story too. Yeah.
It sounds like I need to meet Jerry. Here's $750. No. Here's your $500 I owe you, and if you make it happen by Friday, here's an extra $250. All right.
Yeah.
So it's more like $250, and again, it was a meeting, and it was a strange meeting because once I introduced him, they didn't click like they said in the movie. Jerry didn't come up to East like that. Jerry was like, oh man, since Jerry was used to dealing with guys like me, Egypt, and Rudy.
Yeah.
We all grown men. We wear slacks back then. We wore slacks and dress shirts and sport coats, and he's not used to the street cats that Easy came off to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he actually, he pulls me outside. He says, man, the music is okay. What you think about it? I said, it's all right. He said, his name, niggas with attitude. What am I going to do with that? How do I deal with that? I said, very carefully, dude.
Yeah.
Because they tried to get me to take him to my people. I'm signed to Larkin Arnold at CBS.
Yeah.
I know Gerald Busby personally. Gerald Busby has been cameo on the Eve After Dark a few years prior to that and got the club cracking. So we were out there. I had them in my Rolodex. Okay? But I couldn't take Gerald Busby or Larkin Arnold to N.W.A. members, a group called Niggas with Attitude.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That wasn't no fly back then. Okay? That wasn't no fly. So, we was having problems with our song called House Calls. All we said on House Call was, we last word on the song, it says, Shakespeare says, I'm going to kick your ass. We had to take out the SS or ass, and then we got trouble for even saying the A in ass. So we had to cut the whole. Now I got to kick your B. Okay, back then. Okay, so for me to come up with a group named Niggas with Attitude, it was no fly.
Now let's go back. Now let's go back because there were some scenes from Skateland USA.
Right.
Now, you guys were the Wrecking Crew. You guys were some of the first ones to perform at Skateland, right?
Man, I hate to brag. We put the sound system in Skateland. We did the grand opening for Skateland. I ran Skateland and Doodles simultaneously. I had Skateland on Saturday, Doodles on Friday. That's how we was doing it back then. And Wrecking Crew was the baddest promoters on the East Side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we had our own club. We left. Unlike most people, when they shut down one club, they go out of business. We left that club. Went right to Doodles. When we got to Doodles, Craig Schlesinger, the owner of Skateland, he was putting it together. We talking, and he's like, "Well, come on to my spot on Saturday night, okay?" And we did.
Yeah.
And we did skate and dance parties every Friday, every Saturday with Skateland until we blew up and started going on tour.
Yeah.
And that's a success of Skateland. So we was on the road. We had to stop doing Skateland and Doodle. That's why I'm saying you couldn't. Ice Cube could have never been at Doodles. Not before I met it, because I didn't meet Ice Cube really until after we got to CBS.
Okay. Yeah, because everybody went through Skateland. They had a lot of the East Coast acts would go to Skateland too, like Grandmaster Flash, Latifah, LL. Everybody went through there, and
I brought the Real Roxanne through there. I brought Real Roxanne. Oh damn, man! It was. I had to look and see. I know I brought the Real Roxanne because we had problems with that one.
Well, what happened with Roxanne? What happened with that?
Well, the promoter I was working with, I was going through a so-called agent, and the agent was living with somebody. I gave the guy the money, and I guess he didn't pay his rent or whatever, so he ended up using my deposit to pay his rent. So when she got to town, she hadn't received no money.
Oh wow!
So I had to come out the pocket for the whole amount the night of the party, and I'm like, dude, what happened to my money? Okay, so I got a full house waiting to see the real rock band, and I'm thinking they've been paid half their money. I give her half her money. She's like, no, what the other half? I said, you ain't got it.
Oh wow!
And homeboy dropped his head. He dropped his head. I knew it was a problem.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we had salt and pepper there too. I know I brought salt and pepper and the Real Roxanne. That's when Dre met Herbie Lovebug and decided he wanted to be the best producer in the world, because at that time Herbie Lovebug was the man.
Yes, he was. Now, you guys at Skateland, surprisingly, I didn't hear too many problems at Skateland, and that was like smack dab in West Side Piru, Blood Hood. It was, you didn't hear too many problems though.
Well, again, one, I'm from Compton, okay? Yeah. I've never been gang affiliated personally.
Yeah.
I've lived in blood territories most of my life, but I've never had any gang affiliation, okay? As a mobile DJ in LA, I'm doing the Queen Mary, I'm doing Alpine Village, I'm doing Biltmore Hotel, so I didn't have a really gang-based clientele, so when I did stuff, people would follow me. At that time, the ratio for gangbangers to civilians was a lot lower.
Right.
Okay, it wasn't like it was shortly after that. For a while, maybe only 10% of the clientele may have been actually gang members.
Right.
Okay, so everybody else was square.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you was really in it, nobody messed with you. So I kind of specialized in the squares. It wasn't until the 90s or the late 80s when I got out of the club business that it was so crazy, because everybody wanted to be a thug. It became fashionable to be a thug.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It wasn't just about, how much dope you selling, was you was from a set. No, it became the style, just like folks were influenced by Kid and Play and Cross Colors and, different situations like that. N.W.A. made it cool to be a gangbanger, or look like a gangbanger. Yes. And that's when everything changed.
Yeah. Now, what was your relationship with Ice-T?
Me and Ice-T, we have a very sketchy relationship. My partner, Unknown DJ, was Ice-T's producer for years.
Yeah,
so I know him. Yeah. We don't have a real relationship. We cool. But Unknown was a man behind Ice-T, King T, Jazzy D, and a few other people.
Yeah. So how come y'all relationship was so sketchy?
Because Ice-T was doing the movies early, man. He was a West Side cat. I've been an East Side cat all my life.
Yeah.
So, I never did Adventures Auditorium or any movies. I'm just not getting my movie chops right now with these documentaries and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
Ice-T was he was more Hollywood. Kind of hung out with Uncle Jam's Army, and my boy Unknown started doing with him. I was doing something else by that time. So I've always had dual careers, record and club. So I missed a lot of opportunities to do certain things because I was usually at one of my clubs.
Right. Now we know that the Arabian Prince, he was in N.W.A. initially, and
Yeah.
I know he did stuff with the Wrecking Crew and you guys. Now, was he ever a member of the Wrecking Crew or just a satellite member? What was his relationship to the Wrecking Crew?
No. A-Rab has always been an independent artist. A-Rab was not only was he a member of
N.W.A.
N.W.A. He was also with Bobby Jimmy and the Critters. He was a Critter.
Yeah.
He's also the DJ for JJ Fan right now. So A-Rab has always been an independent artist. He just kind of been like Johnny Gill. He kind of got in where he fit in.
Yeah.
Johnny Gill with New Edition. He's with TVM, whatever it is, with Hank and what's the other brother? I forgot the other brother's name, but Genuine. So Arabian Prince has his own individual career, but he's also been talented enough to get with other acts and become a part of it, but also still maintain his own individual identity.
Yes, indeed.
And I hate to say he wasn't included in the movie.
Yeah. Now, why do you think he just kind of left the group? What happened with his relationship with N.W.A.?
He told me recently that he peeped out the problem long before Ice Cube did, and it was like when he asked about his money, because again, A-Rab was he was a very responsible cat.
Yeah.
So he had rent to pay, car notes, house notes, whatever the case may be. He didn't ask for money. He was living with his mom. He was asking, for money to take care of his bills, and he kept getting the Jerry Heller Easy E runaround.
Oh.
So he ended up leaving and suing. Okay, and but he left in a smooth enough manner. They could make a diss record about it. In fact, later on, he bought him JJ Fad. But even now, there's a lawsuit behind that.
Oh wow. Now, what's your relationship with Jerry, or when did you stop dealing with Jerry? When you stopped dealing with him?
Man, when Jerry, right after we formed, me, Unknown, Egypt, and Rudy from the Dream Team, we got together. We formed our own distribution company. I had the idea of forming my own distribution company. I got them together, and we all decided. Well, they kind of decided for me that we didn't want Jerry Heller representing us and Eazy-E. So we called a meeting with him and gave him an ultimatum, and he chose. Although he tried to stay with us, in every depiction that he had, I guess he thought nobody else had no sense to write a book. But in every depiction that he has, he met Easy on a Tuesday, and Wednesday he dropped everybody. No, didn't go like that. We called him on the carpet and told him, if you gonna deal with us, you gonna deal with them. And I was at the meeting, but my hands were kind of tied because I had hooked up the whole thing with Jerry Easy and Dre them, everybody was kind of from my camp. Everybody was from my camp. I made the connection with Jerry and Easy, but I'm also with my folks over here at West Coast Record Distributors, a company that I created, okay? And although I understood where they were coming from, I didn't really say anything because, again, I had a conflict of interest there.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when they gave Jerry the ultimatum, I was still signed to him, and although he kind of transferred the responsibilities of Wrecking Crew over to one of his other managers, brother named Adrian Gregory, who also managed Digital Underground and Tupac, which I thought was a good move for all of us. But by that, shortly after that, I stopped recording. It just stopped being fun. I stopped touring. I stopped recording and it stopped being fun for me.
Yeah. Yeah, because I heard about that meeting. It was at some kind of Italian restaurant or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at Martoni's up in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, you have to see this place, man. It's like it was gone now, but it was like a scene out of Godfather. You know, you go in this restaurant, you got this room in the back, and allegedly some of the biggest deals in Hollywood was made in this room back here. And Lisa, Egyptian lover's girl, always liked to have a meeting in this room. I did too, because, you know, everybody like that gangster stuff, you know.
Yeah.
We called Jerry on, called him in the room, you know, big table in the middle, and you know, it was just like a scene out of The Godfather.
And the way
the
way Jerry made it seem, he said basically he called all of y'all to a meeting and said, "Hey, look, I ain't working with y'all no more. I'm just going to be representing Easy." That's how he said it.
Bullshit. Bullshit. It ain't happened like that. See, that's what I'm saying, Doc. You know, and that's why I wrote my book, because as I sit here and I look and I watch and I listen, my role in this West Coast game is being diminished down to me being a DJ, a break dancer, and I, at the risk of sounding cocky, and I hate sometimes you don't play your own whistle, it won't get heard. But if it wasn't for me, none of this stuff happened.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm officially the Forrest Gump of West Coast. Okay, I am officially the Forrest Gump of West Coast. Ain't much happened on the West Coast. Especially in the early years, I didn't have my hand in or wasn't solely responsible for.
Yeah, but hey, man, hey, look, if people look at the early records and just look at the early hits, your name is all over the place, man. That's absolutely
pretty much
true.
Yeah. You know, when the LA Dream Team did Rockberry, they came to do those and asked permission. You know, hey, man, we want to use your name on the record. Go right ahead, man. You know, as people that know me, I'm an easygoing cat. Okay, so it's easy for people to get to me, and if I process it in my brain and it makes sense, I'll roll with it.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's not hard. I can see the good in most situations. If I see enough good in the situation, I'll roll with it. And even sometimes I may even, you know, I'll try something that it may go against my own personal beliefs. But, you know, I'll be giving it a shot. And I've never not been a visionary.
Yeah.
I never really was into the gangster rap. I was keeping it real, 110%.
Yeah.
Because for me, an old school Catholic school kid, okay, with a daughter at that time who was 11 years old, talking about bitches and hoes, didn't work for me.
Right.
Okay? You know, I'm a kid from the 60s and 70s. I remember the first riot. I remember the Watch riot. I remember Martin Luther King getting killed. I remember the Black Panthers and wanting to be one. So certain things just didn't work for me. And, you know, more power to you, but it ain't for Lonzo.
Okay. Now, you mentioned breaking and breakdancing earlier. Now, were you around when they were doing the first breaking movie?
No, I was, man. When they did the breaking movie, I don't know what I was doing, dude. What year was that? You remember?
That's 83. They did it in 83 and it came out in 84.
Yeah, it was. Even after dark was cracking like a stun gun. I had serious Jerry curl. I was too busy mind activated, man. I wasn't thinking about no breaking movie.
Yes, indeed. Now, at that time, like when N.W.A. and all those guys formed, now, were you around when Suge started coming around, or were you out of the picture at that time?
You know what? Suge appeared at an event one day, okay? Suge and I have two brief encounters.
Yeah. And
one time I was at my boy Daryl James from Rap Sheet gave an event at the Lasman Hotel in Compton, and I was sitting on the front row about to do a panel, and I saw DOC point at me, and he was talking to Suge. And so did the panel. A few minutes later, I'm outside the lobby, and I'm talking to two guys about the program I'm putting together called Missing Link, and all of a sudden the guys I'm talking to looked behind me and turned around and walked away. In mid-sentence, and turned around and walked away. I'm like, what the hell happened? I turned around, Suge was standing behind me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? What's up, dude? In my regular Lonzo way. Yeah, man, I'm Suge. I said, I know you are. Yeah, I heard you got a problem with my people. What's your people? Now, I know it all the time who I'm talking to. Yeah, Michelet and Dre. I said, no, man, I ain't got no problem with your people. I know y'all right there on Cahuenga in Hollywood. And if I had a problem, we can handle it. I know where you are. I ain't that kind of cat. I don't run from problems. Okay.
Right.
Oh, right on. So we shook hands, and that was it. And after that, he came to the club one day and was in the restaurant, and my partner acted like he had saw I don't know, Michael Jackson or something, and was taking pictures with him and asked me to take a picture with him. And I was a little reluctant because I don't know if the FBI looking or what, but I did take the picture with him, and that was it, Doc. And that was pretty much it, you know. But sometimes being around people as long as I have, and doing clubs and parties like I have over all my adult life, I've developed a sixth sense for people.
Yeah.
And some people give me a bad vibe. I always got a bad vibe. The few times I was with him, I got a real bad vibe from him. So, you know, if I ain't vibing with you, I ain't messing with you.
Now, what was your relationship, or did you have a relationship with DJ Quick, since y'all were both from Compton?
You know what? Me and Quick has always admired each other from afar. Man, Quick is actually one of my favorite producers of all time. He's been to my club a few times. We've hung out, took pictures and stuff. We never had a chance to really vibe. In fact, I'm going to call out to him right now. Quick, I want you to do the forward for my book, Doc.
Yeah.
I would love to have him, Kendrick Lamar, or Cube do the forward for my book. And that's what I'm working on right now. If you got a number on Quick, holler at it.
Yeah, Quick. He's one of my favorites, man. I love Quick, man.
I told him to his face that his music is too good for hip-hop. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. His biggest hit, one of his biggest hits was with Tony, and the second biggest hit for me was always been with him and Sugar Free, but you know that's rap. But again, Quick has his own style. He has his own style.
Yeah,
and I love it. He's a true musician, and he's always been a very talented cat.
Now let's fast forward a little bit. Now, when Easy and Jerry's thing kind of dissipated, as we saw in the movie, and you probably already knew. Were you surprised that Easy and Jerry kind of parted their ways?
Yes and no, because you know, even though I wasn't really a part of it, I wasn't really active in the Ruthless family. I was working with Ruthless at that time. I've been working with him off and on during that time because I was kind of the Ruthless liaison for Compton.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I went to the office to do something, and they said Jerry wasn't there no more. Blew me. Oh well, huh? Jerry ain't no more. And nobody want to talk about it. I left, got in my car and left. And of course, you know, the rumors started. And I talked to a couple people on the inside, and they verified what everybody had been saying. I kind of left alone after that. Me and Jerry always stood. I talked to Jerry all the time.
When's the last time you talked to Jerry?
About a week ago.
Oh, wow. So y'all still kind of have a cordial relationship, right?
We're cordial, you know. He never did nothing to me, you know. He understands that I understand business, so
yeah.
You can't influence me the way you influence Easy. You know, I do what I do. I've done what I've done too long to have the influence. You know, and it's the same thing that people in the industry have done for decades. Most kids, if you notice, mostly kids are in the industry. Okay?
Yeah. And
even now, 2015, young men like Lil Wayne is mad at his people because of high money. Yeah. Okay? Well, as you're an artist and your ego kicks in at contract time, you'll sign your life away. And what most cats don't understand is more robberies are committed with paper than they ever have been with lead.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Now, because I noticed Jerry always says, "Well, if I ripped everybody off, how come nobody sued me?" I know he says that a lot.
You want to know why? Because if I walk up to you right now and say, "Tariq, hand me your cell phone, your pager, and your wallet," you give it to me, you can't call the cops and tell them, "Hey man, he stole my stuff." I asked you for it, you gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no robbery been committed, and that's what happens with contracts.
Yeah.
I asked you for your publishing. I asked you for your writers. I asked you for your name and likeness for perpetuity, and for $75,000 check, you'll give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look up 25 years later or 30 years later, and you ain't got no money, and I got all the money. You can't say I beat you because no, I asked you for it, and you gave it to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the contract works.
Yeah. Yeah. And Cube was the only one who was smart enough to say, "Hey, I'm cool on that."
Right.
And I understood from what I understand with that with Dre, I think Jerry Heller, even when Dre went to Death Row and Interscope, weren't Easy and Heller still getting money off that?
I know he was off the roof, off of Death Row. I don't know about Interscope.
Okay. That's heavy. Now, what's the name of your book, brother? Your book is coming out. What's the name of your book?
Not Without Alonzo.
N.W.A.
Think about what I'm saying.
N.W.A.
Yes. N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo. The roots of West Coast hip hop.
Yes, indeed. Now, when is the book coming out?
I'm looking forward to dropping the next 2. Well, I'm gonna say 7 to 10 days, only because some things are out of my control. I'd like to drop it tomorrow, but again, I'm gonna say 7 to 10 days. That's coming through Amazon first, and I'm gonna do some hard copies and doing a whole campaign for it, because the story, the movie left so many questions unanswered.
Yeah.
And in the book, I have addressed. That's why I wanted to wait for the movie to come out, so I can address all the questions that people have in regard to the ruthless N.W.A. Wrecking Crew situation.
Now, who owns the N.W.A. publishing now? Is Tamika owning that? What's the deal with that now?
I think it's Ruthless. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever meet Tamika, by the way?
I met Tamika. I met her at the shoot. I met her again. I talked to her again Monday at the premiere.
Oh, okay. Cool. So, where can people contact you, Lonzo?
They can catch me on Facebook at LonzoWilliams.com. I'm on Twitter at Lonzo at LonHop. Instagram Lonzo57. In fact, I'm gonna change all these things. They're gonna be the real Lonzo in a minute.
Yeah.
So people will be getting new film requests shortly. But yeah, I'm trying to consolidate all my stuff, so it'll all be real concise and be easy to find.
No doubt.
And I got my own website, LonzoWilliams.com. And shoot, man, look up in the sky, you'll see a bat signal with Lonzo on it. So it's all good.
No doubt, man. Hey, man, Lonzo, thank you for the call, man. Man, been very enlightened. We learned a lot of stuff about the game, man. And I'm going to have you on the show pretty soon, man. But I'll be glad when your book comes out. I'm going to read your book, then have you back on the show. As
soon as it comes out, I'm looking for an interview, baby.
No doubt, man. Thanks for the call, fam.
Much love, Tariq. Thank you, Doc. All right, folks. We out. Peace.
Cool. Good stuff right there, man. I love stuff like that. Okay, for those who are just coming in the room, that was Lonzo Williams. He was a legendary DJ, producer out here in Los Angeles from the World Class Wrecking Crew. He was basically the genesis of N.W.A. This guy was the catalyst for N.W.A. They depicted him in the new Straight Outta Compton movie. So real good information, real good stuff. Real good stuff. How many people we got in the room, by the way? I enjoyed it, man. There was some people saying, hey, hang up. No, I banned them. There were some people in here, a couple of them kind of trolling a little bit. I banned them. This is some good stuff. I like to hear some OGs break the game down, dude. I love it. I love to hear the OGs get some shit from their perspective. A lot of good stuff, man. Because we've been hearing a lot of stuff like from Jerry Heller's side, because there's been a long story about that Eazy-E meeting with Jerry Heller, because Lonzo hooked Eazy up with Jerry Heller. He actually introduced Eazy to Jerry Heller. And we always heard about how Eazy gave Lonzo $750, but I didn't know that Eazy already owed Lonzo money. That was heavy shit right there. How many people we got in the room? We in here heavy. Good stuff, man. Yes, indeed. I love that behind-the-scenes stuff. So when y'all go see the movie, y'all can listen to this interview and put in the pieces together. Yeah, they were trying to mess up the vibe, man. And Lonzo's an old-school player. That's an old-school hustler/player. So I just like vibing with the players. I just like sitting down chopping it up with the players like players do. Next on, I might have to get the Egyptian Lover, because I'm a big fan of his too, man. Yes, indeed. So y'all go see the movie. The movie's great, man. The movie's absolutely great. And y'all are here. There's scenes that we were talking about, Skateland and Dudos. Those were places that were in the movie. Now, y'all have to understand that Skateland is closed down. The location that they used in the movie was like some skating rink in Glendale. And Dudos, that place has been closed down too. I think the place they actually used in place of Dudos was Catch One. It's the Black Gay Club on Pico. I think they used that. So I just like a lot of history shit, especially when it's about LA shit. Yeah, man, man, my man is real triple OG, man. Lonzo is a real OG with it, man. Very respected dude. And the thing is, in the movie, they kind of made it seem like he was a hater. But he was honest. He's like, I wasn't too big on the gangster rap. Because, he was from Compton. You got to understand this. My man said something very pivotal. And I've talked about this before. Back in those days, the gangbangers were over here. The bangers were like here. Most people were afraid of the gangbangers. I talked about that many times. Back when we were coming up, man, the gangbanging shit wasn't cute like it is now. Now, a nigga put on a bandana, they think the shit is cute. Back then, people were scared of the gangbangers. They were terrified. Because even back, that's how, in my book, The Game Advisor, which is coming out whenever, I don't know when, I'm still writing that shit, but I kind of talk about, I add a lot of real shit, and I'm writing it as a novel, but I add a lot of shit in it. I talk about how a lot of my friends were gangbangers, hardcore dudes, and they would have to use me to go get girls to bring to the spot and all that stuff, because girls were scared of them niggas. So that's how I got my game so tight, because I was the one they would say, hey, Flex, go get them to come over to the spot. Because them niggas show up with khakis and all that old shit, and the girls, they would run when they saw them niggas. But I would kind of be like, hey, they ain't so bad, they're cool. Only one of them has a gun. I had to kind of talk the girls into coming to kick it. Yeah, that gang shit wasn't cute back in the 80s, nigga. I'm telling y'all now. Girls see that shit, oh, he's a thug. It's like a little moist nigga with skinny jeans and a bandana today. No. You can still buy my books on Amazon. You can buy my books on Amazon right now. You can buy my books on Amazon. Now, for some reason on Amazon, it says they're sold out. There's some kind of glitch in their system. I don't know what that is, but you can still buy my books on Amazon. Yeah, gangbanging is a fad now, dude. This shit is the fad. You got niggas gangbanging on Instagram. Just corny nigga shit. So it's a fad now. Yeah, but back then, niggas were damn dead-ass serious about banging back then. Man. What's up, Dirk? You said, Tariq, you're an old nigga. Nigga, I'm 3 years younger than your mom, though, nigga. I'm 3 years younger than your decrepit mom. Yeah, you got keyboard Crips. You dig? You got message board Bloods. You got Facebook folks. And Delta desktop disciples, nigga. The game is raggedy right now, dude. Hey, what's up, B. Clark? What's going on, fam? Man. Okay, man, stop typing in power stars, dude. I'm about to ban this nigga. Hold on. This nigga keeps... Okay, hold on. Because I see some fuckery going on in the room now. We ain't gonna have that. Let's cut the fuckery out. Yeah, I used to rap, man. I got my shit. It's all over. It's all on the internet. Scattered around. Man, we are in here heavy. None of my books are audio books, though. What's up, sweetheart?
What's that?
What your brothers up there doing?
I don't know.
You don't know. What's TJ doing?
I don't know.
Where are they?
I don't know. They're looking at somewhere.
Did you just walk past and didn't see nobody in the house?
No, I was in my room.
That's my baby. That's my big girl. Looking beautiful.
Thanks.
What happened with you and Lamont? Oh, Mark Lamont Hill. We're cool. I'm not tripping on Mark Lamont Hill. We're cool. You know, they did like a little something on his show, and they had a picture of me in the background, and people were kind of questioning it, and I'm like, okay, I wanted to know what was up, and he kind of acted like he didn't know what was going on. You know, it's the producers. I didn't know it was that type of thing. I would like to interview Ice-T. I would like to interview Ice-T too. I like to chop it up with Ice. You know, and truth be told, they should do a movie on Ice, man. They really should. I think that would be a very interesting story, because this movie, Straight Outta Compton, man, this movie made like $60 million the first weekend. So this movie is killing the game. So I'm pretty sure they're going to want to do more rap documentaries, not rap documentaries, but more biopics. But yes, my daughter is beautiful. Thank you.
Somebody said I look like Floyd Mayweather. No, I don't.
No, they just trolling. But I think they should do Ice-T's movie. His story is amazing, man. My man lost both of his parents. Was adopted by relatives. His story is amazing, man. I think that would be a very good story to put on film. Yes, yeah, so I want to talk to Ice-T too and do an interview with him and chop it up with him. Have Ice-T talk about the game, the whole nine. Yes, indeed. Let's see who we got on the phone here. What's up? Who's calling?
What up, Tariq? This is Bryson from Illinois Nation.
Hey, man, what's up, Bryce? What's going on with you, fam?
Hey, quick question.
Go ahead.
Would you say that the West Coast is basically saving the game of hip hop right now, with all the new artists and just everything, the new album?
Saving hip hop, I don't know, because again, it just depends on who the record labels choose to put money behind. To be honest, unfortunately, it goes through them. They choose who they're going to put their paper behind, because there's some good guys on the East Coast too. There's some hot dudes out there in the South, man. So it just really depends. It just, because there's a lot of stuff in the South I love, like Migos. I like Migos. I like them. I like Troy Ave out of New York. So there's a lot of hot stuff that's out there. So it's all working together. But the West Coast is just, a lot of our artists are kind of hot right now, so it just kind of goes in waves. You feel me?
Okay.
Yes,
gotcha.
Thanks for the call, Bryce.
No problem.
How many people are tuned into your Ustream right now?
I think like 1,200. Yeah, Kendrick is tight. Let's see who this is. A lot of Georgia people. What's up? Who's calling?
Wait, what's going on, man?
What's up? Who is this?
Hey, this is Bill from Oklahoma.
All right,
hey, I have a quick question. Can you give us your insight or a little history behind, kind of like how they juxtapose Public Enemy with N.W.A. Sometimes it's like good versus evil. Can you give us the insight about that?
Now, okay, explain your question again. How can I juxtapose N.W.A. and Public Enemy? Like, what do you mean?
Right. Some people say, Public Enemy was they kind of do like a Malcolm versus a Malcolm and Martin,
right.
And where one is negative, one is positive, one was kind of fighting for justice, and one was just kind of vulgar. For example, N.W.A. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I feel that. Okay, I'll answer that right now. Thanks for the call. But, at the time when N.W.A. first came out, they were almost talking about the same thing, but just in a different manner. N.W.A. and Public Enemy, we're talking about the same thing from an East Coast perspective and from a West Coast perspective. From the East Coast, a lot of the music just had that boom bap. It was boom bap, boom bap, boom bap. It was real noisy. It represented the East Coast mindset. It represented the more conscious element of the East Coast, because you had more conscious organizations coming out of the East Coast that was more structured. Whereas on the West Coast, we were dealing with it just on a basic street level. As you saw in the movie, we had the Batarams out here, so we were getting attacked on a military level, and we had the gangs out here, so we talked about it from our perspective. So it was basically the same thing using a different voice. So that's why Cube hooked up with Public Enemy when he did his album, because it was the same thing, just a different sound. It was talking about the same thing. Oh yeah, Ice Cube was very thorough back then. Ice Cube was very thorough back then. Yeah, I like Fetty Wap. I do. I like Fetty Wap stuff. Yeah, Wesco, we had the funk out here because that comes from the car culture. I know Breeze. I think Breeze is married now. Breeze was my dude. I used to hang with Breeze heavy. L.A. Breeze with the L.A. Posse. That was my nigga. That was my dude. And Breeze was very underrated. Breeze was a very thorough lyricist, man. Breeze was a very thorough lyricist. Yeah, but again, if you guys haven't seen the movie, man, you need to go out and see the movie. The movie is great. The Straight Outta Compton movie. You're going to want to see it a few times. I've seen it twice. I'm going to go see it again. I absolutely loved it. And I got to get DJ Quick on the show to interview too. I want to interview Ice-T. I want to interview DJ Quick. I really want to interview Quick. There's a lot of music stuff I want to ask Quick. Y'all hit Quick up on Instagram. Because I've been wanting to get Quick for a long time. There's a lot of musical shit I want to ask Quick, man. Because Quick is very underrated. Yeah, man, I like a lot of the new stuff. I like the new stuff. Nigga said Riff Raff. Nah. Well, they did a documentary about Nas. And speaking of movie, y'all don't forget to check out my brand new lecture film called Code of Conduct at TariqRadio.com. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, Tariq, this is Kyle from South LA.
Hey, Kyle, what's going on, fam?
Not much, big dog. I just had a quick question for you because I got this. So for the past year, I would say, I got this little Amazon eBay thing I got cracking.
Okay.
And what I'm basically finding is that as I've gotten bigger, it's harder for me to keep track of things, and I need to find a way to make some money to put into it. And so I've been applying for these jobs, but when I get into these interviews with like Indians and these Arabs and whoever, it's like, all right, I kind of get the vibe like they just like, all right, this nigga, I don't know if I really want to put him up on game. So what's your advice for like finding an entrepreneur, like an internet entrepreneur who's black, who can kind of teach me the ways of the game?
Now, what exactly are you trying to learn, bro?
Well, basically what I do is I'm trying to learn e-commerce.
Okay.
So I'll get products at like liquidation prices and sell them on Amazon. And it's going well, but I want to learn how to do it on a bigger level.
Okay. Basically, man, what you got to do, you need to get into message rooms and message boards and forums and kind of get the game like that, because then you can be anonymous and you can kind of read the game and get up on game and learn it that way if you can't get around certain people in the dominant society who don't want to, because that's the people, again, who are non-black. A lot of times they don't want to put black folks up on that ism. They really don't.
Right.
And the few black folks that you do meet, you know, they're so far removed, you know. So I would say start looking for whatever you're looking for on message boards and forums that discuss e-commerce and certain tricks of the trade and kind of get up on it that way. You feel me?
All right, much appreciated, Tariq. Thanks.
Thank you, fam. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He said, read a book. No. I get what he's saying, because, again, it's very difficult sometimes to get that ism because folks don't want to lace you with it, you know? For e-commerce. Let's see who we got. What's up? Who's calling?
What's up, man? It's D.
What's up, D? Where you calling from?
Louisiana.
All right, what's on your mind, D?
I was wondering, like, if we get reparations, like, what's gonna stop, like, white people, or people who are classified as white from claiming that they're like 118 black or something like that?
Well, if they do give reparations, it has to be qualified. It has to be like, okay, if your parents were classified as African American. It has to be a qualifier there, so then people won't just jump up claiming shit that they are not, just like they did with the Native Americans. They just basically start paying money under the table to be listed as Native Americans. So black folks, we got to get a code of conduct so we can not allow that to happen. But hell, we're still afraid to claim shit or to ask for anything as black folks because, you know, everything we do, we always try to include everybody. We got to be Captain Save 'em for everybody. So we got to get off that bullshit. So
exactly,
yeah.
like I don't want like some Rachel Dolezal shit.
If they gave reparations, it's gonna be Rachel Dolezal's. The braid shops are gonna be backed up. The braid shops and tanning booths are gonna be backed up. All the number 2 Remy weave is gonna be bought out of Sally's Beauty Supply. All the nigga shit. They're gonna get all of it and start claiming. So we got to be very careful to start getting into these birth certificates. We're going to have to make people bring in their parents' birth certificates. We got to put grandfather clauses on things. So there's a lot of stuff that we have to do. That's why we got to have think tanks to kind of break all this stuff down. But anyway, thanks for the call, fam.
All right, thank you.
No doubt. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, people are gonna be claiming. Then when some money is, because ain't no benefit in claiming black right now. That's why people run from it. There's absolutely no benefit of it. No benefit whatsoever. But the minute there's value, they're gonna start claiming them black grandmamas. Then they're gonna start claiming heavy. Anyway, y'all, let me get up out of here, fam. I'm about to get up out of here in a second. I got stuff to do. What's up? Who's calling? Okay, people hanging up now. Anyway, let me get up out of here, family. Don't forget, go to TariqRadio.com. Get my brand new lecture video streaming right now. Code of Conduct. You can watch it right now at TariqRadio.com. Don't forget to go to TariqElite.com. Get those flags, those Melanoid Nation flags. MelanoidNation.org. All that good stuff, family. I'm going